Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast hosted by two rather uninformed enthusiasts.
No.
I'm Sam from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass.
I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
And you can watch us each week. We hope you enjoy the episode. Not really sure why I'm dressed like a stock trader today, or not even a stock trader. Like I don't
like
know what
a sales rep, mate.
Yeah,
that's what you look like today.
I don't know what happened. I'm living out of suitcases at the moment because I'm in between so many different trips. And I woke up and I thought, oh crap, got to get to the studio. And I said, just grab things thinking that'll do. And I walked out the door thinking, oh no. And I'm driving the GT3 today.
Oh no.
So I pulled in my normal coffee stop and they kind of know me there. And I think they're a bit like, oh, he's obviously got employed again. Because I think I've looked unemployed, or I look unemployed most of the time. And then today I turn up and
he's obviously got a new job.
I know it's not really a fashion podcast and no one really cares, but I just think I'm insecure in my own. For the first time ever, you always call me out on what I'm wearing. Today I feel a bit insecure in what I'm wearing. So,
well, I would feel more insecure what you normally wear than
okay, fine, interesting. I'm doing the M&M tactic and calling out your attacks before you attack me for them. Anyway, morning, mate. How are you?
All right. How are you?
All good. Did you have a nice weekend?
Well, yes and no.
Bank holiday. What'd you get up to?
Well, there was a lot of sport on.
There was a lot of sport on.
Yep. Last day of the Premier League, the Monaco Grand Prix, obviously.
Indy 500.
Indy 500. Watch that.
Vibes, isn't it? Love that
vibes. What else did I do? Oh my God! Yesterday, flipping hell, what a day! Yesterday, I had to walk round a shopping centre. Bear in mind, I live with 3 girls. Doing shopping.
Your favourite thing?
With them. Mate, honestly, please.
Where did you go?
Well, we went to Westfield in Stratford because there was a specific shop they wanted to go in.
Sure.
And there was something they wanted that was there. So we had to go there. We wasn't there long, thankfully. And then we went to London.
Oh, in town.
Into town. We ended up in Chinatown.
Oh, lovely.
Had a walk round there. Had an ice cream, like an ice cream.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Poured a rain.
Yeah, it did actually pour it rain at one point, yeah.
And then we paid an excruciating amount of money to park the car.
Yes. Did you park in the Chinatown car park? Yeah, that is insane. I think, from memory, is that not £9 an hour or something?
No, it's £10 or £11 an hour.
Fine, it's gone up. Yeah. And it's a very tight car park, that car park.
Yeah, if you've got... I mean, there was a lady behind me in one of them big GLSs, and I'm in the M3 Tour, and I thought, what, you're not getting in here.
No. So for non-Londoners... basically, Chinatown, Soho, Central London, you're talking about Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, not a lot of places to park. And there's a sort of heavily advertised underground car park sort of around the back of Chinatown, but it is tiny. And also, word to be wise, one of the car parks that has cars broken into the most. Every time I go in there, smashed windows. Well,
maybe we're talking about a different car park, unless people because it's very secure. You have to scan your ticket to get in. How do they get in, mate?
You're talking about the one behind the fire station.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because they wait and someone buzzes in and they walk in.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's all like caged off and everything.
Yeah. Because of the crime.
You know what I have noticed as well, while we talk about car parks briefly, cars obviously getting bigger, and London car parking spots are normally really small.
Mm-hmm.
The car parking spaces that I parked were relatively okay.
In the underground car park?
Yeah. I mean, I had to get tight to the wall, but there was plenty of room. Normally, you can't get in and out. And the one in Stratford, obviously, the new car parks, they're way bigger. I mean, it's easy enough to get in and out.
I wonder if they are increasing standard parking size. On the street parking, you can't do it in London.
No.
But maybe, I'm sure that, why wouldn't they be doing it on
all
new
cars
builds?
are bigger, aren't they? It's, and it wasn't that busy. It was nice. We're driving into London. Normally I train normally and I get the train, but because we had to go to them 2 places, I took the car, and it was nice and quiet.
You know what's just annoying me? You've just made me remember that I didn't pay congestion charge last week.
And so now, by the way, now you mentioned that, you just reminded me that I must do it today.
But when did you go in?
No, the congestion charge is fine.
Okay.
I've got to pay the Blackwall Tunnel charge now.
Yes.
Because you have to pay now. Never used to have to pay. Now you got to pay.
Yeah, £2 or something ridiculous.
£2.50 a go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So annoying. And mate, I can't tell you. I don't know about you. I cannot tell you how many fines I get throughout the year because I just forget.
Yeah, that's going to be a bill for me, the congestion charge, because I went in the Velar. And I remember thinking, as I drove in, I thought, I must have forgot to do congestion charge. And now I think you can still pay the day before, 2 or 3 days before, but I've missed the win.
One or 2 days before and a couple of days after. Yeah. But if you miss that window, you got to fine. The problem is for
I feel
us.
a bit sick now.
Well, yeah, because people say, well, why don't you do it on auto pay? But we jump in and out of different cars all the while.
All my cars are on auto pay. But this is a press car, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
and when you... It's so expensive as well. Like if you drive into London, and it's the reason why most of the time I get the train now, because I forget.
Yeah.
And then straight away it's 130 quid or whatever to pay the charge.
Quid. Run away. Do you see any nice whips cruising around?
Not when you drive in London, like everything's sort of nice.
Yes. Everything's
like,
a Maybach or a Rolls Royce.
Everything's like a big SUV but I didn't see anything like I didn't go to Mayfair or anything like that.
Okay.
We were like this side of West
Chinatown,
End.
Soho, it's quite rare that you see anything that in your face.
Yeah.
Still a nice day out for you. Well, as you say, lots of motorsport going on. Do you want to talk about Monaco at all?
Well, we should touch on it. The fact that why does that still exist, that race?
I think I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again, because I think I've figured out how to save Monaco.
Really?
I think everyone thinks they figured out how to save Monaco, but I genuinely think I've figured it out, and so I'm gonna keep flying the flag.
Go on.
Anyway, I think it should be either removed from the championship calendar and be a not a spectacle event, but you know what I mean, like a sort of additional weekend. Or they should change the format where basically it's like the Indy 500 qualifying. So focus in on the best part of Monaco, which is still qualifying, is still sensational.
Yeah.
And my thought is it has to be the best average lap time across 3 laps. So you have to do 3 fast laps. So you do qualifying on the Saturday, as it is now, that leads into Sunday, heats or whatever it is. And it has to be the average, because that's so exciting watching them going flat out.
Yeah.
But imagine if it was the best average time with traffic.
Yeah, fair.
So they're all on the track at the same time, but they're trying to string together the quickest 3 laps. And maybe you do 2 sessions in the morning, it's all 20 cars, and then it breaks down to the top 10. But again, they're all out at the same point of time. And you've got to try and get those 3 fast. So there's a strategic element of trying to find space in it. There's also the concentration of being able to sing 3 laps together. And it doesn't have to be a championship event, or it can, if they're introducing the sprint, who gives the sprint weekends, then change it up. And Monaco is no longer a Grand Prix, but it is something, because it can't disappear. It can't go Monaco, but the actual race doesn't make sense in modern day Formula One.
Yeah. Or if you really want to spice it up, do what you said and add to the traffic and put some bloody Porsche Cup cars in there. So like what they do in the GT racing. So they really got to have their wits about them. You know what I mean? Put the F4 in.
Yeah. This weekend, F1, F2, F3 and F4 all on track at the same time.
I mean, it's a massive crash because obviously there's a reason why they don't do it. But it works in GT cars, but I understand why it would never work in F1 because of the speed difference, obviously.
Well, no, because I think it's proven, as you say, in endurance racing, the speed difference between a GT class and a hypercar class is just as insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, around Monaco, you don't want to add cars. You don't want to remove cars. But I just think nothing can take away from qualifying at Monaco.
No,
that is still unbelievable. So then just focus in on it. Yeah. Just focus in on it, because allow that to be what Monaco is, and don't do this 70 lap parade where everyone's... Anyway, so that was that. Indy 500?
I mean, the thing that always does me in with Indy 500 is that people compare it to F1. Some people compare it to F1, and it is the American F1 essentially. But it's so much more dangerous.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. Like, you think to yourself, the car that crashed into the pit. I mean, when did you see that in
Yeah.
F1?
Yeah.
You know, all these, you know, cars coming into the pit and crashing into the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
It's exciting to watch. Though,
It's
isn't it?
really
Yeah.
exciting to
Yeah.
watch, and then huge crashes. I mean, that's the bit that's why people watch it, because they have monumental crashes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, over 200 miles an hour into the wall. Upside down.
234
Yeah, it's terrifying, isn't it?
on an oval.
But do you not think it really reminds me of the Grand National? Like, as in,
Really?
Yeah, because I just think it's a war of attrition. Like, I watched it and I was speaking to a friend at the time and I just said, I do love pinnacles of sport. Like, I do love elite sports people because, okay, fine, you could get into the whole argument of like, how does an IndyCar driver compare to a WEC driver or Formula One driver? Who cares?
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are the best in America. And
Yeah.
this is insane. They are lapping average, well over 210 miles an hour
Yeah.
for 500 miles. Like, it's ridiculous. And I just think there's a lot of luck, not a lot of luck involved, but I mean, obviously Alex Palou, like, he's not exactly, talentless. And Ericsson's won it twice already.
Yeah.
And so like, they're obviously the good guys do the good stuff. I don't know. I just think
Palou's the feels like to me. I mean, I don't follow it a lot, but he feels like to me he's the best one out of.
he's the closest to a European talent. Has been,
Yeah.
I think, for a while. Obviously Spanish anyway, but yes, you get the feeling he would be competitive in most other formulas.
Yeah.
But first time he's won that race. I don't know. I really like it. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
What?
While we're on motor racing, did we speak about Max doing the Nürburgring, doing 3
Yeah.
laps and breaking?
Yeah.
We did speak
Yeah,
about
we
that.
spoke about it, yeah.
Because that's still going round and round and round.
I
It's
don't know. People
so
are
good.
loving it.
Yeah.
Well, whilst motorsport was going on, car stuff was going on, we missed out on the Italian Car Week or the Italian Car Weekend. Furio Concorso and Villa d'Este. Two, I would say, very exclusive,
Yeah.
maybe elite.
The weather didn't look fantastic though, from what I saw from photos.
Oh, I thought it looked amazing.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I saw it in different times of the day, but
Yeah.
it looks a bit cloudy when the bits that I saw.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. But these are two concourse events. So think unrestored race-winning 1950s Maseratis, GT3, whatever. Like, just, unbelievable, best of the best, full of history, like, beautiful cars in the most stunning locations, everyone dressed in suits and wearing dresses and prizes and, all of these things. Villa d'Este itself, I think, has been sponsored by BMW for a long time. Furo Concorso is slightly newer event, but anyway, it has become this Italian car weekend where you all descend on Lake Como for madness. There was an McLaren F1 GTR cruising around.
Yeah. Did you see the CLK? Is it DTM?
No, the CLK GTR
That's right.
Roadster.
GTR, right.
£15 million pounds.
I mean, that's a rare car, isn't it?
That's an unbelievably
Yeah,
rare car. I
yeah.
think sold or supplied by DK Engineering. I
Oh,
think.
nice. Yeah.
Well, they had some involvement. So, yeah, just, as I say, unicorns amongst unicorns. But in amongst all of that, new M2 CS was launched.
Yeah.
So I thought we could talk about this. I haven't had a chance to really read up on it yet, so I thought we could do that live. New BMW M2 CS will raise the benchmark for pure driving pleasure, maximum dynamics in the compact high-performance sports car segment. This is BMW's official press release. You know what? I actually don't think their press release is going to be good. I'm going to bring up...
You're going to bring up one of the English ones.
Somebody very good, some amazing journalist would have already summed up everything we need to know. So here we go. Let's click on Autocar. This has been written by Charlie Martin. So thank you, Charlie.
523 horsepower.
523 horsepower with a ducktail spoiler.
Do you like the ducktail?
I do actually. I do think it looks good.
Yeah.
It's pushing into that sort of AC Schnitzer vibe, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen it from the general M2 M Performance Pack was quite full on. This looks...
It's an M2 on steroids, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
the
with a little
ducktail's cool-ish.
Yeah.
It might be a bit too much, but I'll wait till I see it in the flesh. Do you know
But
what I mean?
unless
From
they put a
some
stupid
angles-
wing on it, like, what else do they do?
Yeah, from the
opposite.
side profile, I think it's great. Just from the rear, it looks a bit...
But they've done this before, BMW. How many times have they done this before where they make a car where everyone talks about the design?
Yeah.
We've done it with my car. They've done it with that normal car when it came out, the normal M2. And now they're doing it again with that ducktail. And it's going to create so many variants of opinion, but everyone's going to be talking about it.
Fair.
And they're so good at that recently, BMW.
They have been very good at it.
Yeah.
I thought the last car was amazing. We liked this. I like the new M2.
Me too.
So I think this is good news.
But
I think this will be epic.
But that's why I think I like it. I think the old M2 CS was a bit of a yobs car.
Right.
And this feels and looks, because the new M2 is very grown up.
Yes.
It's a very, it's so weird. And I think you said it before, and it's true. It's so weird what BMW have done over the years with their category of car. Like this current M2 now is like an old M3, and my current M3 is more like an M5 now.
Yes, they've sort of shifted everything forward or
they've almost
up.
gone up a level.
Yeah, weird.
So this, as a middle-aged man, this appeals to me, this car, whereas I think the old car was like a bracket down still.
Will this be numbered, do you think? Was the last one numbered?
I'm not sure. And I tell you as well,
the old one is rare.
Yeah, it is rare. And I think there was a huge price difference because the old M2 was such good value at 30 odd grand. And I think the CSs were like 60 or 70 at points. And from my point of view, I thought, well, it can't be double the car. It just won't be. It'd be 10 or 20% better. So...
yeah, it was 75 grand, the old one.
Yeah. And like, you think you'd be able, you could get an M2 comp for literally half that. Like
and
a
this
used
one,
M2
this one
comp.
is nearly 100 horsepower more than the last. The last one had 440 horsepower.
Yeah, it's mega, isn't it?
Old one was a good looking car though. I mean, I really like that old one. I know you're not fussed by it. One of them came to our live event, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you see them from time to time, and I think, well, because BMW are so good at making them, and it'll probably go down as one of them iconic cars, as a lot of M cars often do.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not a pile of shit car or anything like that. I don't think that. It's not really a car that appeals to me.
Fine.
This
fair
one
enough.
appeals to me much more.
Well,
I don't know why.
Well, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But by the time this, but you know what's ridiculous and which everyone's going to hate, by the time this episode comes out, all of these details will have already been released. So let's just edit this whole section out. Anyway, I mentioned that I took the Velar into town last week. God, I'm getting on with that car well. God, I'm liking it. It actually goes back to Land Rover soon for a period of time before it comes back to me. I think they have that summer of like sponsoring Wimbledon, Goodwood, like they need all their cars back.
Oh,
so
I see.
They take it back for a bit and then it comes back to me. I'm going to be so sad. Like I honestly...
You like it?
Oh, mate, I'm really enjoying it. So
Put around in it.
I thought we'd do a bit of stock watch and have a quick look because I think potential of great car for the money. So Jack, roll the theme tune.
Finding the best cars on the internet so you don't have to.
So I had a quick look. Obviously, brand new cars still expensive because it is a Range Rover product. But as we know, Range Rovers do tend to depreciate very, very quickly.
Rapidly.
And so I'm looking at like 2019, 2020 cars.
Yeah.
Feels about right. You're getting Apple CarPlay, you're getting a lot of tech, most of them sort of facelifted-ish. So I found this one. You tell me about engines. I get lost in Land Rover, Range Rover engine products. This is a D180. Dynamic SE, R Dynamic SE, so not top spec, like mid-level spec.
It's a diesel, yeah.
It's a diesel, 43,000 miles.
Yeah.
24 grand. This one listed at Canvey Chariots Car Centre.
Yeah.
Great spec, I think, from the outside, like nice wheels, black paint, like
it's got some options. That's a dynamic SE, so it's not the highest spec car.
Mid-level, right?
Yeah, mid-level, but obviously there's been some options put on it.
Sure. Yeah, here we go. It's got a few things. 360-degree parking.
Bigger wheels, obviously.
Bigger wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, based on my experience and the fact that I think Range Rover would be first to admit, the Velar is due an update anyway. So hard for me to tell the difference between this 2019 car and then the car that I'm driving around in.
Visually, that's the beauty of it. Visually, there's not too many differences.
No.
There'd be a bumper change and a light change or something, but when you poke your head inside, obviously the screens are different and there's some changes inside. But that still feels posh in there.
Oh,
mate.
mate, so nice. I mean, I think they're good news. I know we've talked about it a lot before, like, you know, who is the buyer? Like, does it sit too far in between? But as I said, I've really enjoyed it. I got a friend I told you who bought one, is obsessed. I just think it's a great car. Funnily enough, my mum came with me in it the other day. She's an Evoque owner. Thought it was too big. I think for me, it's a great size.
Fair. But compared to Evoque, it is bigger, but it does drive down the road nicer than the
Yes.
Evoque. Yeah.
I just think that's a great car. So yeah, Canby Chariots Car Centre, 24 grand. Is that the right engine for a Velar? No.
The problem is it's the most common one. Obviously, they have the chain issues. We do sell lots of that engine in the 240 variant, not too many in the 180, but the 240 horsepower variant, which a lot of the Discovery Sports, and they do have their chain issues. But we sell loads of them, and if you know what to look for, then you know I can only go on experience. I know they have the problems, but it's weird because we've had them before where there's like no mileage, like you can't really go on mileage, you know, because we've had them with 20 and 30,000 miles still in manufacturer warranty, and they're rattling away, and then you get them at 80 or 90,000 miles. All right, we won't sell them, but they're absolutely fine. So the chain's either been done or it just got to that point and it's not going to break. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned Discovery Sports because that was your argument when I said to you that I wanted to have a look at some Velars. You said, well, actually, when you start looking at that mid-20s mark or low 20s mark, Discovery Sport is an interesting...
That's me.
Compared to that's you, mate. I bought up your own car.
Yeah. First time in 6 months I've appeared on Stopwatch. I mean, you cannot believe it, can you?
Well, I thought I'd give you a bit of shout out because you made the argument. So I thought, well, here we go. And this is actually a really lovely car. So this is, well, tell us everything. It's a 2019 Discovery Sport.
That's a facelift car. So I've got some 2019 cars in that are pre-facelift. And they're like landmark models. So they're like the run out. And that's an SE, so it's one down, but it's got some options on that. So it's a nice car.
Yeah, very nice car.
But they're very, very similar money. So, you know, it's got the nicer lights. It's a facelift car, different bumpers, obviously different rear lights. The interior is much improved. That's when they put the nicer screens in them and the digital dash and stuff. And it when you sit in the pair of them, they're night and day difference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You just think because this is a 7-seater, isn't it?
They're all 7-seaters.
Yeah, there's that weird bed.
Yeah.
And so, do you think you're getting more car for the money? So this car you've got listed at 19.5.
Yeah.
The Velar we were looking at was 24.
Yeah.
Do you think these Discovery Sports are slightly better news?
From a family point of view, if you've got 2 or 3 kids, they're way more practical. They're way more rugged inside as well. So they're a bit like a big Discovery from that point of view. You know, the plastics inside are a lot more hard wearing. Okay. Whereas the Evoque's more like a Range Rover. It's more
Velar.
Sorry, yeah. But it's a Range Rover Velar instead of a Land Rover essentially.
Fine.
So that's the 2 split products.
Yeah.
So from a rugged and a value for money and what it does as a Swiss Army knife, like I said, we sell loads of them.
But you said if you can, the rarer petrol engine might cause you less headaches.
Yeah, they don't have the chain issues. But like I said, if you know what to look for and you buy one from a proper dealer that understands them, you're all right.
Yeah, cool looking cars. Both of them, I think, good value products. Now, I have no idea what's happened with insurance with these now. Do these still fall into the could be stolen at any second bracket, or is that calmed down a bit?
Calm down a little bit.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's definitely calmed down.
Because no point in buying a 20 grand,
well, then you can't insure it.
Can't insure it.
Yeah. Obviously, if you still live in London or in Surrey or parts of
catchment
Essex
area for cars being there.
Yeah, you're going to pay more but you can insure them now.
Okay.
And they are cheaper essentially.
Super nice. As I say, I can't say enough nice things about my experience with that Velar. So
the Velar does drive better than the Discovery Sport though.
Fine.
So from that point of view, it just all depends what you want. You know, if you've got 2 or 3 children and you're looking to spend 15, 20 grand on an SUV, as long as you get one with the engine that's all right, they're a good shout.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Sports. Finding the best cars on the internet so you don't have to. Sports.
Anyway, we've asked some people to submit some questions on the line. So let's pull these up and see what people are talking about. It's been a little bit while since we've done a Q&A, so it's always good to see what people want to know. First up, Mill Thomas. Can you name a real sleeper car? One without 4 exhaust pipes, badges, etc.
Yes.
Tell me.
Straight away.
Go.
A SL 500. No, wait.
Hold on.
No, that's not it. What? The S500. So the S-Class Coupe.
S-Class Coupe,
Yeah.
non-AMG.
What car?
What was the weird one? The 580. You remember that one?
Yeah, that was
like a little...
You don't see many of them.
No.
Yeah, you really don't see many of them. But that's a proper car, that is. I've sold a couple of them down the years, and
You're
sometimes
right. Very under the radar. Would we put an 850i in there? Or like a...
Yeah, but in terms of luxury and how it drives down the road, the Merc does it way better than the
That's
BMW.
a good shout.
Yeah.
What else is
Bit of
good
a sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just looks like it's a big Merc barge that you're not really
I mean,
gonna
it
pay
is, but
Yeah.
if you want to go in a straight line, it's quite fast.
Yes.
Still got a big V8 in it.
That's a great shout. I can't actually outdo you on that.
You never can.
Damn it. Simon Somerset. Tony seems to be stocking more commercial vehicles. Is there a difference in sales experience?
Yeah, for sure. It's way easier to sell a commercial vehicle. The only problem with commercial vehicles is that people want them yesterday, because obviously their van's broken or they need a van for their work for the next day. So, but yeah, from my point of view, I'm glad I do them as well now. Yeah.
James Collingridge. Has any listener feedback influenced the direction of the show, like drive/rate my ride? Absolutely. I think we probably spend most of our week reading comments, reflecting, trying to decide on formats and plans and live shows. The tour business wouldn't exist without feedback we got at the live events.
Yeah.
The live events wouldn't have happened without us bumping into people at other events. The popularity of different segments and formats and unpopularity of pretty much everything we talk about. So that's 100% a thing.
Some of the comments are a complete nonsense, but a lot of them are good.
Jonathan Caddick, what are your thoughts on the new CarPlay Ultra? Have you seen this?
Oh wow,
Mate, have you not seen this? Oh, this is long overdue. Weirdly, launching with Aston Martin.
Wait, what have they done, mate?
Mate, next level. So what CarPlay Ultra will do, which is going to be rolled out across a lot of manufacturers in the time to come, and then eventually everyone, is it takes over the entire onboard infotainment system. So, for example, your digital dash, which used to be able to show you inbuilt car sat nav, but not CarPlay, that will now be CarPlay as well.
That's good.
Air conditioning functionality through CarPlay.
Oh, nice.
Radio through CarPlay. Changing of colour systems. They're like, everything is done.
Have they done
through
that?
CarPlay.
They must have got a nod from the manufacturers to build into
it's in partnership with manufacturers, and that's why they're launching it with Aston Martin. There's actually an event at Aston Martin this week to go and experience it and play around with it and check it out.
Yeah, fair. Because I think two of the most recent inventions, period, one is Apple CarPlay, and two is bloody Sky Plus, where you can rewind and. I know it's been a few years now, but it's like changed my life.
Yeah, you're right.
Love
Hold on
it.
a sec. So CarPlay Ultra, I want to find out which manufacturers they've got. They had a list of who's it coming to. It's so weird that they're starting with Aston Martin, but like good coup from Aston Martin.
Yeah, for sure. Bloody brilliant.
Bloody brilliant. Right, let me see. Somewhere I saw the list of manufacturers that are going to be able to roll it all out.
Well, they'll all pile in at some point, surely. Well,
Yeah, no. I mean, they're trying to, but it's whether
Yeah.
it can be. Anyway, it looks amazing. And as fans, people who do a lot of mileage and are
Like
fans
us.
of, you can, it does speedos, it does everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be unreal. So that'll be, watch this space. X Camp SG 911991.1 C4S, keep or sell.
911991 C4S.
Do you want to keep it or not? I mean,
Yeah, do you want a new car or not? I mean, it's perfectly good, but if you're bored
can't
of it,
really
you
answer.
don't want it anymore.
we can't really answer that.
Yeah.
Can we? OHB, £1,000 a month this should have been a question for Tim last week. £1,000 a month, 10k deposit. What first sports car would you suggest? That's a good question, isn't it?
£1,000 quid a month.
10k deposit and £1,000 quid. We're talking probably in the UK at what, a sort of 75, 80 grand car?
GT4. Yeah.
So 10 grand in it. Or because I like to just mess things up, or go old because
Oh, no.
because your residual like 570S, it's probably there. 10k and £1,000 a month.
R8 V10 Plus will be in there.
V10 Plus, Ferrari 430.
AMG GTR will probably be in there.
Yeah.
That's a good car.
Screw your GT4s.
Yeah, don't worry about GT4. They're crap Porsche anyway. What do you want a Porsche for?
Somebody asked me the other day, Ignisi 1, future modern classic investments, i.e. will the Aventador hold its value? I mean, I think we've said it over and over again on this podcast. We don't think you should ever view a car as an investment unless you're playing in the £1 million plus sector.
Yeah.
Because there's just too many unknowns when I mean, you're the wrong person to ask this to or about because
Well, I'm not the wrong person because I know the answer. But the anything in general, I mean, people send me stuff all the time online of people giving advice on buy this car, don't buy this car, don't buy. You know, there's people actually on Instagram giving advice that have actually never bought a car in their life, and people listen to them. I can't get my head around it. Anything that's mass made in general, you might not lose a ton of money, but you're never going to make money on it. Especially if you consider that you're going to drive it and you've bought it retail, you then got to maintain it, you've got to insure it, you've got to run it. And when you talk about them Aventadors, they're spiteful in all aspects. And then people forget the dealer margin bit. So if you keep it 2 years, there'll be a dealer will want a real chunk of money to sell that car, especially if they're writing a check, and there'll be quite a lot of dealers that won't write a check for it. So then you've got to SOR it. So it's not really an investment at all.
yeah, I mean, people play this game, and I think we're both approached regularly with, I'm thinking of buying a manual 430. Do you think it's a good investment? Like blah blah blah. I mean, you can look into certain factors and certain elements and look at the history and think of the rarity, and of course, like you have a possibility of a car going up in value, but fundamentally, it is a depreciating asset that costs money to run and maintain. And yes, you could buy it, stick it in a garage somewhere, and hope that it goes up. And it might if you're clever about it. If you look at all the stats and information, of course you have the opportunity to make money. But there is so much of it which is also a lottery of when you buy into the market, what your own personal emotions and connections are, like how much is it something that you want versus what the market wants. You might like XYZ, doesn't mean the rest of the world does. Like I'd be sitting here on 695 Biposto record editions being like, people need to realize how amazing they are. One day this is a future classic. But that's just my opinion because I'm emotionally attached to it. So yeah, I can see why you think a version of the Aventador might be a modern classic, and the event, Lambos in general, because they produce less and they're rare, like they do tend to be all right. But
well, Speciale is an amazing example. People 4 or 5 years ago were saying, they're still the same money what they were 4 or 5 years ago. They've sort of stayed where they have. There have been periods where they've gone up or down, but not like huge amounts of money. Where the problem is as well when you talk about investment, are you paying for it? Are you writing a check for it? To which point you got to have too much money for it just to sit there. It's not your only car, and if you're never going to drive it, then like, what's the point? And then the other reason most people do is finance them. So then there's interest charges, and by the time you take that into consideration, and the best example I can give you, and there'll be loads of dealers agreeing with me out here now, that if we buy a car and we have it in stock a period of time, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 12 months, some of that big heavy stuff, quite often the dealer's lost money.
Yeah.
So how's a punter going to earn money on it if a dealer's bought it at the right money and they still lost money?
But then you do have the people who bought Carrera GTs
But when did they?
3 or 4 years ago.
Not 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, you could have picked up a Carrera GT at 600 grand that you would now be sitting and you would have made at least 200 grand.
Well, maybe though.
Yeah, but you know,
maybe
there is the opportunity. You have to admit there is you are particularly negatively minded about this because you see the reality of car buying and selling day in, day out. But you have to also admit and see that there are possibilities, there are opportunities,
but there always will be.
Yeah, but it's not quite as clear cut and as simple.
No.
McCleggy, best first supercar. Use 2022 Roma for 160k, or use 2021 720S for 165k.
I'd have the Roma for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a 720S at 600. Both of them you can get for cheaper, and I wouldn't get a 720S for that kind of money. I think I'd be
flapping.
Yeah. Just because, as I say, you can get them cheaper, and 750S is arguably better in lots of ways. There's lots of other McLaren products.
Well, I'll tell you a good example is that Roma or an Artura. They're similar money on the used market.
Yeah. It depends what your use case might be.
Yeah.
Very different cars, that.
And McLaren's doing... Do you remember they were doing them deals on some 720s? Are they doing it with and the 600 LT? Are they doing that with the Arturas where you buy a car, you put deposit down, you have it for 2 years, you give it back? Are they doing that?
I haven't heard of those deals, but possibly.
Yeah.
I like with the 600 LTs, I got like 2 or 3 calls for those.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it, but I'm not really in that. Need to stop spending money on
for me
cars.
personally, that's the only way I'd probably buy another McLaren if I knew where I was. If someone said to me, put 10 grand in, these are just numbers off the top of my head, £1,000 a month, 2 years, give the car back.
Yeah,
you know where you are.
Yeah, it's the guaranteed buyback with the McLarens.
Yeah. Because if you get a good one, it's going to work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think these days lots of them are good. I think.
Yeah, I do hear less now than what I used to. For sure.
Maybe that's because less people are buying them.
I think that's it, mate. People aren't buying them anymore.
Mr. Michael Atkins, do you think we will see the Boxster replacement this year? Ooh.
No chance. No chance.
Oh, do you? I thought they meant my Boxster replacement. They're talking about the 718 Boxster replacement.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. I think it's coming in the end of year, isn't it? Frankfurt or Stuttgart or the IAA or something like that.
I'll be amazed. I think they've got problems with it and it's not up. They're still going to make the old car till October. And then I think there's going to be a gap, mate. I don't think they're ready.
I thought.
I mean, I might be wrong. Don't listen to me. What do I know?
Yeah, okay, maybe it's.
I'll be amazed because you're not. You normally get loads of hype around stuff, especially if it's
early
late.
2026. Sorry, early 2026.
And honestly, I'll be amazed if it's then as well. I think they've got problems with it.
Any plans for any live events in the Midlands? I'd love to see BTG at Caffeine and Machine. I think our next events are southeast and southwest.
Yeah.
But noted, Ben the Mac. Shout out for our event in the south of France, 21st of June, for any of you that might want to be there.
That's soon, isn't it?
That's very soon. So head over seenthroughglass.online, go to the live events section.
We've got our Northern event soon as well, right?
Like a week or something like that.
Right,
So,
blimey.
This is a weird one.
Can't be.
Well,
I mean, one of our audience asked us a weird question.
No, hard one to answer, and I'm not sure one that you will have much thoughts on. Adam Winter said, if you could control one driver change in any part of F1 history, who would it be? As in like one driver stop that you think, oh, if I could have actually moved that person there or done that then.
Well, I'd like to see Max move.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Where to, or just move in general?
I'd like to, who cares? Because I admire his talent. I'm not a fan of his, but I admire. I don't mind his personality,
yeah.
but I want to see him in a different car.
Yeah.
He's been racing in F1 for the same team now for 10 years or more, and he's undoubtedly unbelievable. And you do see stuff that you think, well, there's not many drivers I've seen do that, and that's what makes him great, in my opinion. But all the other real greats, they've all been in other teams.
Yeah.
And you know what? Listening to these, and you might be able to. Some people say one thing, and some people say the other. But I think these F1 cars, I think they're all completely different to drive. By the way, I don't think it's as seamless as people think. I think there's a bloody.
As you have thought,
or I have thought down the years. You know, the more you get into it and you listen to people and you listen to drivers, and I think they're all completely different to drive.
Yes, I think you would. This sounds accused. I think you'd be naive to think not.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you just listen to anyone, or even look at the footage. Even look at the footage, and as history has proven again and again and again, when drivers change teams, or even through the seasons, through big rule changes, like the intricate differences between. Yeah, I think for sure, like they're all so different in their characteristics and their behaviours and how to get the most out of them. I would have liked to see Alonso at a top level team when he came back in 21. Was it 21? When did he come back with Alpine?
Yeah, so I have a slightly different. I agree, but I have a slightly different argument with that. Where I always think the top drivers or the top footballers or the top everything, they always find their way in the top equipment. So a footballer will always find his way to a top football team. Same with an F1 driver. If you're good enough, you go into they'll find a place for you.
But my suspicion, knowing absolutely nothing, is that Alonso thwarted his own career by being far too difficult into team dynamics. Like, his reputation is that he's very hard to work with within a team.
Right.
And that he screwed himself over by falling out with people left, right and centre all the time.
Oh, I see.
So blew a lot of his own opportunities by, undermining situations or just being difficult. And if you look at his racing, if you look at his talent, arguably he didn't necessarily achieve as much as he could or should have.
No. He's not run a race for 10 years.
Vettel may be the same. Well, I don't know. Anyway, but my point being, I do think the guy is unbelievably quick and an unbelievably good racer. Like racecraft, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think now he's gone off the boil just because of age and too much uncompetitiveness. But when he came back in 21 with Alpine and he was looking quick and leery and rejuvenated, I would have loved to have seen him come back in, or just been given another chance post Ferrari to have just another go, like a Kimi Raikkonen era. I would have loved him to have just been slotted in at Red Bull at some point, just to see what would have happened, because he's never really going to have had that chance again. Post Ferrari, he's just driven around at the back for however many years.
Yeah,
but now you're seeing him, Aston Martin pulling their back. He is still there or thereabouts. So, but he's just too long in the tooth at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, a couple more questions. Carl McQueen, if you could start your careers all over again, would you do anything different? I'm going to tweak that and say, if you could start your careers all over again, do you think you'd still be doing what you're doing now?
I think your path is your path, mate. I'm not superstitious, I'm not religious or anything, but I think you make your path as life goes on. And you find your feet. I think this was my path.
Yes. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Because as well, like the likeliness, I also believe that there's a reason why you meet people, and we grew up completely different. 10 years ago, we become mates because we were both on the path where we were going to meet.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not religious. But I believe that interactions and the people you meet along your way, and you create that as a person.
But now you know what you know. If you could go back with this knowledge, is there anything you would tweak or change?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have been. Yeah, for sure. The thing is, it's such a hard question because I don't regret anything I've ever done. You know, the main thing is I've never murdered anyone. I've never really hurt anyone.
Well,
Yeah, within reason. You know what I mean? Like I was a naughty boy when I was a kid, but not to the point where I went to prison for 10 years or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
A couple of days.
Yeah. But yeah, in general, I've been a fairly normal human being.
Yes, and just turned out weird.
Completely weird.
I like your statement. Your path is your path, and also like no point in dwelling on the past too much. I hate dwelling on the past. I love nostalgia, but I hate like dwelling on the past. But I think I would. All I would do is on a YouTube front. What would I do? I always, and in my head, I always think, should I have just revved Lambos? Do you know what I mean? Should I have just bought silly cars for you? Like, do you know, should I have gone down that path?
Yeah,
I always question it. I know it's not the path I went down, but I always do think, oh, maybe I should have just played the game.
But there's people that do that.
Yeah.
Without giving you a bigger head. There isn't many people on the internet doing what you're doing, whether people like it or not. The way that you do things, there isn't many people doing what you do.
Very nice of you to give me compliments. And
well, it's not a compliment. I'm just saying there isn't many people stupid enough to do what you do.
Actually, it's not a compliment
It's
at all.
just an observation, mate.
Good point. I just that's the honesty is in my darker low moments I do sometimes think maybe things would have just been a bit easier if I just
and also when you work for yourself as well, whether you do it inside or outside, you are constantly beating yourself up inside. When you work for yourself, you just always do that. Can I do things better? And of course, everyone can do things better, but I believe you create your own luck, and the path that you are on, you are meant to be on that path.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that path, you can change it as a person. Change it.
I'm going to put that on a poster.
Yep. No, it's another T-shirt. It's another T-shirt.
It's another T-shirt. Yeah, add it to the shop. Well, there we go. This week's episode we'll wrap up there. Thank you for the questions that were submitted. So hold on a sec. I've lost track because we're sort of slightly ahead of time of where and what we are doing. So this weekend is the live event, but I don't know if that will come out next week. Anyway, we're not going on holiday, mate. We got lots going on.
Right.
Maybe
we are.
Then no. Maybe the next time we sit down to record, I might have seen my completed challenge for Dali.
I forgot you had one.
So did I.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay tuned. Plenty more to come. We'll catch up with you very soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.